Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. I was wanting to talk a little bit about brains or your thoughts or thinking and stuff like that. My attention has been drawn towards that kind of stuff here lately. People out there have accused us or me or people who believe in certain manifestations of God, like gemstones, gold dust, angel feathers, or just getting totally whacked and drunk on the Spirit of God. They've been saying things like you don't have any brains, or you're not thinking, or whatever. It's I just want to say that are you sure that you're talking about brains out there when you say brains, or the way you think, or thoughts, thinking things out? Are you sure you're talking about that, or are you talking about your ego and how much stuff that you think you know? Because there's a real problem with thinking you know everything, and being egotistical. It's really, if you have any understanding of being human, or of being a person or anything, you know that you don't want to be around anybody that's egotistical, unless you are one yourself, big, full of pride. They call it false pride, because there's such a thing as having true pride. But in my opinion, all this stuff doesn't really matter. It's not that I'm not saying that we shouldn't have emotions or thoughts or anything like that, but I have pride. I guess I do have pride in certain things, but it's not like in things that I do. If I do have pride in some things that I'm doing, it's kind of like I feel good when I hit the mark. When I'm playing a video game, I haven't played video games in a while, but if I hit the mark, and win or go up a level on a video game, I guess, I feel good and everything, and I feel kind of like I get pride from that. But where does that come into in the scheme of all things? Like for example, where does the earth come from, and how did the earth get here? It has nothing to do with my thoughts. I could think about it, I can read about it, I can study about it, I can go into archaeological. It's neat to go digging up archaeological evidences, of the past and everything, and that's really neat, and I like to do that. But when it comes to forming these opinions and stuff, and thinking up and coming up with all these ideas and things about how it was, it's still just ideas. It's not you know, can't prove it, because it's just, you're just digging stuff up and you're just putting things together. You're forming your thoughts together to create ideas about things. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're going to sit here and tell me that I need to use my brains or my mind or think of things, or think clearly or whatever you're trying to say, I just ain't buying it, because my mind has gotten me into a lot of trouble, in the past. It's gotten a lot of people in trouble in the past. It's gotten people locked up in prison because they came up with ideas and things that they thought were good to do. And so I don't take pride in my own mind and in my own thoughts, because it's nothing. I mean, everything that is here is not going to be here. It's all temporal. Everything. Temporal means it's all temporary. This whole place that we live in, this whole earth, everything, our bodies that we have are going to one day decay, unless you become so saintly and holy that or something, become such a holy person that you won't decay. So I think we are to enjoy this world, and we are to take pleasure in this world and these things that we have. But that's not our sole purpose in this world. It's not to enjoy these things that are here. And I hear people say in the past, you got to stop and smell the roses, drink the good wines, taste the good wines, eat, drink, and be merry, and that's fine and everything, and I like to have a good time and stuff, but that's not all there is. I mean, it is a big party. I believe in a big party, okay? A continuous party. Every day. I think every day should be like our birthday, or every day should be like a holiday, or Christmas or something. I really, really think this. But I'm not saying this in the way that a lot of these other people are saying it, because the reason why they're saying that they should get the best out of life now is because life is short and they're going to die. So they know that you got to, get the best that you can, take the best that you can out of this life now. And that means that you're going to go around hurting people, because it's a selfish attitude. And so the problem is, how do you get out of this selfishness? For years, people kept saying to me that human character is shot through with the thread of fear. Fear is shot through the human character. How do you get free of fear? How do you get free of fear that causes you to be selfish because you're afraid you're going to lose everything? How do you get free of this fear? It's where you think that you have to think greater thoughts and be perfect and on top of everything. In the meantime, you're climbing up this ladder and you're knocking everybody off of it that you can to get to the top of it. This goes on all over the place. Everybody knows this. You see it in business. You see it in churches. You see it wherever. In your communities. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody wants to be the greatest. There's nothing wrong with being great. But I think there's something wrong with being trying to be great if you're going around hurting people. You know? So there's only one way out of this thing, and that's through Jesus. Jesus is the only way. If you don't have Him in your life, if you're not living for Him, if you haven't given everything over to Him completely, your whole life over to Him, over to God, over to Jesus, you're selfish. You're living for yourself, and you're hurting people. You're hurting yourself, and you're hurting everyone around you. Even if you're a father or a mother or whoever you are raising your little kids. If you're not living for God, if you haven't put everything down and laid everything down to God your whole life, to God, you're still selfish. And you're hurting your kids and you're hurting your family. So, there's a purpose for our thoughts, yes. It is to turn it over to God. To turn our thoughts over to God. To turn our thoughts and our minds over to Him. So that He can control our thoughts. So that He can give us right thoughts. And give us ideas. There's nothing wrong with having a mind or having a brain and stuff and having thoughts. But if you can't, if you're sitting around thinking about the past or thinking about the future and you're not sitting here enjoying the present, what good is having a brain? If you're never going to be here now, if you're never going to sit here and be present now, in the now, what good is having a brain? What good is having anything? The only way you're going to be able to sit here and enjoy now is to be able to have some type of control over your thought life, or have something or someone control your life, and that one is God. That one is God. He can control your thoughts so that you're not going around wasting your life away. You can waste your life away. You can waste your life away with God. And people say, "Oh, well, I don't have time." Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You got time, because there's things that you're doing that you're spending a lot of time on that you don't have to, but you made a decision to spend all that time on those things. You made a decision to spend all that time on all that stuff. It has nothing to do with God. You've made that your God. You've made that your God. Say, how do I know all this? Because I used to do it. I used to spend all this time on other stuff. Live for other things. Thought I was living for God. I wasn't living for God. I was living for other things. I was living for other things, and I was living for other people. I was fighting and struggling and trying to keeping all these things. I was afraid I was going to lose all this stuff, so I had to work hard and trying to keep all these things. So, anyways, I don't know who's going to watch this thing, but I'm going to tell you something. You think you're so smart. One day you're going to find out that you're really not. There's someone smarter than you, and that's God. You people need to lighten up, man. You need to learn how to have fun. Stop all this nonsense about, oh, I'm an atheist, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm, you know, where did this gemstone come from? Calling people idiots or stupid because they're experiencing things that you don't understand. You need to lighten up. How can you have fun in this life if all you're doing is going around trying to pick a fight with everybody that you can, thinking that you are the answer or have the answer, and you're not? I don't have the answer. I mean, I do have the answer, but it's not me. He's in me. He's Jesus. And I'm getting to the point where I can honestly say that I love you, whoever you are. I love you. That's crazy. And God loves you too, and He gave His Son for you. So lighten up. See you.